BoLS fans, AdamHarry here. I got a special guest.
Hey guys, I'm Stable Abe.
He's here with me. We're going to go through the first batch of the new Star Wars wave of ships from FFG, obviously. We just got back from Gen Con. Abe, unfortunately, didn't go with us. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
But the rest of the BoLS crew went. We got, actually, just to tease you guys a little bit, we actually got
Dun, dun, dun.
the whole wave. But we're going to start with these three. We're going to knock them all out. Abe, since you weren't at the show,
Right.
which one would you like to start with?
I think we're gonna go. Let's do the ARC 170. That's
Boom,
my classic old favorite. You know, everyone loves the prequels the most, right? They're the really popular ones that showed up in the best Star Wars movie, obviously.
You know, I have scissors. I will stab you in the throat.
I mean, the best of the prequel Star Wars movies, right?
So moving on, the ARC 170, pretty cool ship. I'm going to go ahead and pause. We're going to go ahead and cut it and open it on up and get everything laid out and look at all nice and fancy because we got a lot of ships to go through. So let's do this.
All right.
All right, we just opened it up just to show you guys what's going on. Here's the little doohickeys in the thing. Here's the dial. That's going to be the best view of the dial, I think.
It's such a small dial too, isn't it?
Yeah, only up to speed 4, but it's got pretty much all the key maneuvers.
I mean, are there any ships that have less maneuvers than this ship?
I think actually the
Decimator maybe? Or?
Not the Decimator, the K-Wing only has up to speed 3, but it has the slam action.
It has the slam action,
That's neither here nor there.
I mean,
anyway,
not just speed, but there's very few.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah.
So here's the ship. Pops right out.
Literally.
Literally. We've got all that fun stuff. We've seen all this stuff before. I'm just going to set that to the side. You can see the ARC 170. It actually, we want to focus on the ship. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to, is the ship itself is probably, I would even wager to say, the best pre-paint job they've had.
Yeah, this is amazing, and I mean, it's got so much detail on it. Like, I had totally even forgotten until looking at it here that it has a top turret and an under turret on the back. There's two emplacements on the rear.
Yep, you can see them both there.
Yeah,
but, I mean, the paint job itself is really well done. The sculpt is cool. I love how the wings actually are pseudo X-wings, where they S-foil is locking into attack position there. Yeah. It's got the super huge blasters on the side. It's got a really good weathering paint job. Again,
yeah, it's beautiful. Like, it's crisp when it wants to be, and very weathered when it needs to be too.
The Rebel symbol right here, you can tell it's almost like it has to be screen printed or something, but it's really, really well done. It's very sharp detail, and then of course the weathering on it, just I think they knocked it apart. This again,
it's beautiful.
We've seen pretty much all the ships at this point. This is probably one of the best paint jobs.
And it's one of the more complex fighters. Small fighters.
Look at the back of that.
I mean, it's got 6 wings. It's got all those engines and stuff.
Like you said, the 2 different turrets on the rear arc there. I mean, the engines are cool too.
Yeah,
it's really well done. Okay, enough about the ship. Let's go. I'll pause real quick. We'll go ahead and look at the cards. All right, so here's the first half of the stuff we want to show off. We've got, of course, the tokens. Got to have those. So it's got all your standard stuff there, front and back. We've seen these before. These are the numbers, obviously, for the squadrons, shields for the ship. This is if you have that really fancy plastic dial.
Right,
so you can put those in there. That's what that's for. Put that to the side for now. We've got the actual ships and those tokens, and we've got Nora Wexley, Shara Bay. We've got Braylon Stram and Thane Krell. I want to point out, these are all unique pilots. There is no generic ARC 170.
There weren't a lot of these, and only famous people got them.
That's right. And then, of course, the dial again, we saw that earlier, up to speed 4. Really good stuff there. So it's not the fastest ship in the fleet, but it'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And it's pretty tough to boot. So
and more maneuverable than you might think also.
Exactly. Especially with some of these upgrades, which we're about to get to. First off, the title card, Alliance Overall. ARC 170 only, obviously. We've seen this in the preview before. When attacking with a primary weapon from your primary firing arc, you may roll 1 additional attack die. When attacking from your auxiliary firing arc, you may change one of your focus results to a crit result.
You should have that on every time you take the ship. You're gonna have
it's a 0.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you take
it's
that?
It's a no-brainer.
That's going to go really well with some of the pilots, which we'll see here in a second.
Yep.
But you rolling that additional attack die is going to take your basic 2 shot to a 3 basic. You're basically firing a 3 primary out of your front arc, and then your rear arc, if you have a focus, you're going to get a crit, which is pretty saucy.
Yeah.
So there's that one. Adrenaline Rush, we've seen before, same with Recon Specialist. So just additional focus whenever you focus action, and this one you can discard that card to treat a maneuver. A red maneuver is a white maneuver. So we've seen those before. So R3 Astromech, I can't remember if that's new or not, but it feels like it's new because it's an Astromech, or it's an old one. But you get 2 of them. Once per round, when attacking with a primary weapon, you can cancel one of your focus results during the modify attack dice step to assign 1 evade to your ship. So that's actually pretty neat because it gives a lot of ships with Astromechs a way to get an evade token.
Yeah.
Which you don't see very often. And I thought at first, I was like, that's kind of a junk card. I don't see why I would waste that. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, how many times do you end up with an extra focus when you're rolling?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cheap. He's 2 points, so throw him on there. And you're like, yeah, I'm not going to use my focus if I'm doing other actions. I don't have some kind of way of getting a lot of free actions. That's actually a pretty good way of just using it.
Or if you know you're going to get shot back and it's going to be bad.
Exactly. And I mean, you can use the free extra dice that you're getting from the Alliance Overhaul.
Yep.
For this.
Also, I mean, it combos really well with recon specialists,
Yeah, it
right?
does.
Because this is one of the few ships you can take both a passenger and an astromech droid.
Yeah.
So that works really well. You're going to get that free to evade, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that's just something to think about. Throw it to the side for now. Again, it gives you that access to an evade. Seismic Torpedo, this is a new torpedo.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it lets you basically blow up an obstacle.
Yeah.
And then each ship at range 1 rolls an attack die on a hit or crit. They take that damage.
So you gotta be careful with it. What's interesting is it's an action, right?
Yeah.
It's not an attack.
Yeah. So you're doing damage during the attack, the action step.
phase, yeah. So I guess you wouldn't benefit from any things that boost your attack or anything.
Right. You're actually the cool thing is it's an action. You're targeting an obstacle, so you're not targeting another ship.
Right.
So there's no attack roll that you make. You just blow up whatever obstacle was, and whoever's nearby has to take a damage.
Yeah.
So that's really, really neat, especially with some of the stuff in the later waves we'll see here, where you can manipulate the board a little bit more.
And you don't need target lock or focus or anything to use this. So
it's an action.
Yeah, you can put it on a nice. I mean, if you have it's good on a slow ship like this or a large slow ship. If you're like, hey, I can't dodge that asteroid, I just want to blow it up.
Yeah.
To do that, or if you can catch the enemy near an asteroid.
Absolutely, yeah.
Be kind of an unpleasant little thing for what Dash when he's like on the asteroid.
That never affects that. Dash. Yeah, and I know what you're saying. But again, it's not just asteroids; it's any obstacle.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
So that's cool.
It's a cool card.
I wonder if you're using like one of the large ships as an obstacle in a tournament. Could you? Because you can do that, right? Or in a game, you can use like the epic
we'll
ships.
let the FAQ sort that one out.
Also, does the ordnance card that lets you do 2 of everything, does that work with it?
I think it does because this does have the torpedo
thing
token. So
that
is another question we'd have to double check the FAQ on. I'm sure they're going to address that.
I'm sure they will.
I think it would because it's a torpedo. It has a torpedo icon, so
I just
it would
don't
count.
remember the exact wording.
Right. So
and
another question too is whether or not that would apply. I don't think it would, but when you fire, if you have not
munitions failsafe,
yeah,
because you're technically not hitting, are you?
Well, right, you're not actually hitting. I mean, it does do damage, but that's one of those gray areas. I'm curious. I'd have to read both cards. I don't remember.
Does if it fails to hit or if it misses?
I think
it miss?
I think if it fails to do any damage. Again, I don't remember exact 100% off the top of my head. I would want to read the cards.
Interesting to look at, yeah.
Interesting things to think about for later on. Moving on, we got a lot of ships to go through. Vectors, thrusters, small ship only. It's a modification. Gives you the barrel roll, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And again, it's any small ship for modifications that don't already, or you wouldn't take it if you already had one, obviously.
Yep.
But very cool card. I can't wait to put this on some ships you wouldn't expect it on.
Oh yeah.
I think like a Y-wing would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. In some ways, I feel like it's wasted with this ship because you could put BB-8 on here to get the barrel if you wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, if you want to use a different astromech, it's good on this ship, and it's great for other ships like.
Or if you already have a BB-8.
If you already have BB-8, or if you want to put it on a ship that doesn't have barrel roll. I mean, there's.
I love boost barrel roll combinations.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So anytime you get the option to boost barrel roll, I'm probably going to do it, even if it's going to cost me the game or something.
Any small ship that doesn't already have barrel roll could benefit from that.
That's true. That is very true.
Somehow.
Last but not least, we have Tail Gunner. Tail Gunner is actually a really good card. Let me just kind of angle it up here. When attacking from your rear-facing auxiliary firing arc, reduce the defender's agility by 1 to a minimum of 0. Mm-hmm. So that basically gives you a hit. However you want to think about that, it's a passenger slot. Fire spray.
Yeah.
The old Boba Fett.
I mean, interesting thing is that it's limited.
Yes. So you only get one per fleet or squadron, whatever you want to call it.
Which is odd. You know, I mean, I guess it's for balance reasons, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like fluff-wise, we only have one tail gunner.
Yeah,
on
right.
Star Destroyer.
So it's something to think about, but it is limited. So kind of odd, but there you go. So we're gonna pause real quick, and we're gonna take a look at the rest of the pilot cards now. All right, so here are the cards, the pilot cards plus auxiliary firing arc. This is the card that explains the rules for auxiliary firing arc. Blah 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 blah. So that pretty much just says that's the rear arc.
Yeah.
And we won't go over that too much, but you can see the card there. First up, we'll just start down here with the not
the grunts,
so elite
sort of grunts.
So they're all unique.
They're all
so,
unique. Yeah, they're unique grunts.
We've got Braylon here, ability, pilot skill 3, Arc 170 pilot. After you execute a maneuver, you may roll an attack die. On a hit or a crit, remove 1 stress token from your ship.
Not bad at all, right?
Seems decent.
Yeah.
It's a 25-point ship. There are some synergies if you work with, like, I think well, you can't even get the elite pilot talent, so it's just a basic ship. It's still a 6-hull 3-shield ship, so you got to chew through 9 hit points.
You got to chew through 9 hit points.
And
you can get rid of stress.
You've got the astromech, the passenger slot, and torpedo slot. So there's some stuff you can do.
Is there an astromech that gives you an EPT?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do that.
You could
if you needed that for some reason.
Yeah. He's got some options in there. We won't get into all of them. That would take forever. So moving on, we've got Thane Krell, pilot skill 4 pilot, obviously. After an enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1 to 3 attacks another friendly ship, you may perform a free action. So this is kind of the retroactive fighter of the group.
Right.
This ship is designed mostly as a support ship. Obviously, you're not going to be running 4 of these. More than likely, point wise, it just wouldn't work out anyway. But I would expect to see 1 or 2 of these in a list.
Yeah.
As a support kind of feature, and he's a ship that's going to be super tricksy to pin down because especially flying as a wingman to something else. If he's been targeted, if his buddy's been targeted, he can then do something. That's where a maneuver like barrel roll would come in super handy.
Would be great.
Or an engine upgrade for the boost. Mm-hmm. Barrel roll, again, from the upgrade was actually cheaper than boost.
Yeah.
So that's another slight advantage of that card. But anyway.
Yeah, or some of the astromechs, or really this would be great to have some of the crew or passengers that could pass out something for an action.
It's true, for an action.
Yeah.
Or just even target locking something to fire torpedoes next round.
Always good. I mean, it's sort of a mini bigs, right? Like,
yeah.
You want to shoot me, or
you want to shoot me, or I'm going to shoot you back.
Yeah, and bad things are going to happen. I'm gonna get some bonuses.
That's one of those things. Exactly. You could target lock on your action. Your buddy gets shot at, then you focus, and now whatever you're shooting at, you have a target lock and a focus.
Right.
Which, again, looking at the title card, looking at some other options, having that focus token can be really bad news for whoever you're shooting at.
Yeah, or something simple as like boosting into range 1 after that guy shoots, right?
Exactly.
Make him take a bad shot at someone else, then boost into range 1, blow him up.
Yeah. So
and in that sense, his lower pilot skill actually helps him a lot because he gets to go last.
There you go.
Or later on.
Yeah. So he's not a super fast ace, but he's a reactionary pilot, so the low pilot skill actually does help. That's a very, very good point, Abe. Shara Bay is our pilot skill 6, kind of a middle of the road pilot skill wise, but this is the first instance of the EPT we get on there, so that's pretty cool. Shara's ability is pretty good. When another friendly ship at range 1 or 2 is attacking, it may treat your blue target lock tokens as your own.
It's a great one.
That is really good. There's actually a really good case to take. I forget which missile it is. I think it's rockets. One of the torpedoes, one of the missiles. When you fire it, you don't spend the target lock.
Right.
So you just have to have the target lock. You don't have to spend it. There's no action, remove target lock. It just says.
Yeah, she'd be great to use with K-wing as to give it more flexibility, or maybe some A-wings with what's the missile?
Proton rockets.
The proton rockets. Yeah, she can target lock. They can run right up. They don't have to worry about it. They can boost into range 1 and proton rocket away.
Yeah, that's a great point too.
Or someone who has like an advanced proton torpedo who might need to boost to get into range to use it. Don't have to worry about it. Or they can target lock and focus. There's lots of combinations.
Yeah, I mean, just because you spend that ship could spend its target lock to fire and then spend her target lock to reroll.
Yeah.
So there's lots of uses for that. That's one of the reasons I think you'd want to take. I think it's weapon specialist.
The one
that
that
gives
gives you 2 target locks.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Let you maintain multiple target locks.
Yeah.
Pretty dirty stuff you could do.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, we have the top pilot here is a Norwexy 7 on the pilot skill chart there. When attacking or defending, you may spend a target lock you have on the enemy ship to add 1 focus result to your roll.
So obviously there's already good synergy here and here.
Yeah. I could see running both of these ladies back in one ship. One squad would be really mean.
Yep.
Also, let's do some math real quick. And again, we're taking a lot of time doing this, but your base attack 2, you have the target, the title. So you get 1 extra die on the attack, the forward attack. So you're up to 3.
Yep.
If you're in range 1, that's 4 dice. And now on top of that, you also can add 1 focus result to your roll.
Yeah.
That's a possibility of 5.
And that's just your primary weapon.
That's just your primary weapon.
And all of those abilities, I think, most of those abilities work on, or this ability at least.
This ability works on torpedoes.
Torpedoes, yeah.
As well. So if you just take that away, if we went with advanced proton torpedoes, gave her guidance chips, I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. You're going to hit somebody for like 6 hits and a crit or something crazy like that.
Yep.
Yeah, just because you can. So.
Yeah. And obviously that works. She works good with the R3.
Yep.
Because she's going to get a free focus on every attack, or a lot of her attacks, so she can dump. She can get a free evade if she needs one later on.
And that's just the cards that are in this set.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's just simple synergy there.
Yeah. So there's lots of stuff. I've actually written about that particular loadout before. So the Arc 170, really good card, really cool ship. But we're running out of time. We've only got 1 ship down. So let's move on. Do you want to do the Special Forces tie next or the Protectorate Defender?
Let's do the Protectorate.
All right. So this guy's up next. We're going to go ahead and cut and get them all unboxed. Okay, so I've got the Protectorate Starfighter opened up. Abe's actually getting the cards out right now. Here is its crazy dial. So it's 1 to 5 speed. It has a 4K turn. It has the, not the Sanguinore's loop, the Talon roll, I think. That's what that one is. With the hard turns. Crazy maneuverability. But you're going to see here, this ship looks like a standard Arc Dodger, but doesn't fight like one at all.
And not a lot of banks on there either.
No, actually no. It only has... 2 and 3 speed banks, so it goes fast. It's gonna want to go fast. It's gonna go one straight at you. So I'll throw those to the side for now. Here's the ship itself. I think it actually looks really cool. I like the paint scheme they did. It's a Mandalorian Protectorate Starfighter, so it's got that Mandalorian vibe. Look how thin that profile is, though.
It is. The one thing I'm sad about this, and there's no way they could have done it, is that obviously if you've watched Rebels, these wing portions actually rotate around the ship.
Yeah, and I don't want to break it, and I'm not going to try to, but if you are a hobbyist, you may be able to figure out a way to get those, get pin them and then magnets or something.
They rotate this way, not up and down.
So you'd have to cut.
Yeah, almost like this is a B-wing turret, and then the body rotates around it.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's no way they could have made the model do it, but
I mean,
it's kind of sad because it's actually pretty cool on the show as they kind of rotate around it, almost spin around it shooting.
Nice. Why did I... Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, how would you even...
There's no way. You'd have to be on a... You'd have to chop the back off and put some sort of pin through this, and then, I don't know,
Yeah. I mean, it could be doable, but you'd have to be... Yeah. Anyway, then we've got of course, that's the ship. Looks really cool. Again, love the paint job on this one. Again, I think this wave really has some of the best paint jobs.
It's crisp. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't have any weathering or anything.
It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
It's not. I mean, Mandalorians, right? And this is like, these are not mercenary Mandalorians.
These are the Empire Mandalorians.
This is our planet of Concord Dawn.
Right. So here's the tokens and everything like that. No big surprise here. Protectorate Starfighter. Flip that over. There's the dial. We've seen that already. Here are the ships, which is kind of cool because you're actually going to get 6 pilots total. So you got your base guys there. Concord Dawn Vet Ace, which is kind of cool that they include with those, and then a really wide range of pilots.
Yeah.
So you go, lots of different pilot skills. Fin Rao is going to be a game changer. And there's again for the plastic towel. So move that all aside. Abe, what do we got for cards?
We got 2 whole upgrade cards.
And that's it, right?
That's it. That's all that comes in.
Do we have the specialty cards that come with it though?
Yep.
We have these, so we'll show these off as well. We've seen these before. The Talon Roll boost action, no surprise there. So I'm not going to spend too much time on those, but they're there. So here we have, let me zoom in, way in. We've got the Protectorate Dawn title card. When defending, if you were inside the attacker's firing arc and at range 1, and the attacker's firing inside your arc, add 1 to the evade result. What does that mean? If you are looking right at the guy, nose to nose, you get a free evade.
Yeah.
So, again,
It's
moves
good.
like an arc dodger,
Yeah.
but doesn't want to.
I mean, I think really, whether it's going to be arc dodging or not depends on whether you want to pay the point for this. Because it is a point. It's not a free. It's not a free upgrade. So you don't necessarily want to put it on. You're not always going to want to put it on everyone if you're really trying to save that point or something. And if you're going to run it as an arc dodger and try to be more dodgy with it, this might not be worth it.
That's true. Well, look at the cards here.
Yeah.
It's a 3 agility ship with 5 hull.
But
Or 4
generally,
hull, excuse me.
Generally, you're going to want that on there.
Yeah.
Generally, you're going to be doing
Yeah.
Proton.
And you'll see why. It
Yeah.
works really well. Again, Fearlessness, this is a scum only upgrade, which is pretty
odd,
mean.
because
Yeah.
scum aren't the ones I think of with the fearless, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they're scum and villainy.
Yeah, it should have been-
they're cowardly. And,
Fearlessness should have been profitability or something.
But yeah,
But it is a Mandalorian, so
Yeah,
maybe that's
that's
why.
true. Yeah.
When attacking, if you're inside the defender's firing arc at range 1 and the defender's inside your firing arc, you may add 1 hit to the result to the roll. So again, you see how these two pair.
Obviously.
They work together.
Yeah.
This is a modification. This is an EPT. So you can see how if you had them both on the same ship, how they would work together.
Yeah.
You get that extra evade, you get that extra damage, just straight up. So
Good
yeah,
stuff.
and you're at range 1, so we'll get to that.
Yeah. All right.
More cards. So we've got 6 different cards here, and pull these all up. So just a full spread of pilots, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Very, very varied.
Yeah.
As far as the spread of pilots, we've got the Zealous Recruit. Just look at the action bars on these guys, though. They've got 4 actions: focus, target lock, barrel roll, and boost. So they're squirrely right off the bat.
Yeah.
Move these up just a touch more. We've got a basic ship with 3 damage on the primary, really good. 3 agility dice, 4 hull, and no shields.
No shields and a torpedo.
And a torpedo.
I would say, I mean, this is a veteran ship, right? Like this, if you're a newbie, this might not be the best ship for you.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be it's a ship that you're gonna want to know how to work that dial.
Yeah, like I mean, it's fragile and it's not cheap, right?
No.
Like it's not TIE Fighter cheap.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's not TIE Fighter
And it's really barely more survivable than a TIE Fighter.
Yeah, TIEs are what, 2 hull, 3 hull?
3 hull.
3 hull.
And 3 evade.
3 evade,
Yeah, so.
And you're looking here at 3 agility and 4 hull. So
Yeah.
it is tougher.
It is tougher, but it's also 8 points more.
Right.
For a pilot skill 1.
Yeah. So
a little more killy, but I mean, it's not good, but it's a tricky ship. You've got to be able to use all those actions. You've got to be able to use the EPTs that you can, if you have those on it.
Absolutely.
You've got to be able to use the dial. It has to know its place. This is an advanced ship, I would say.
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Absolutely, you're not a newbie-friendly ship with this.
Yeah.
But if you know how to fly,
It's gonna be really
it is a
rewarding.
surgical tool. It is very rewarding. You're gonna pull some crap on your friends with this ship, and they're gonna look at you and just be like, "Did you just do that?"
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, "Yep." So, yeah. Anyway, we've got the 2 basic guys here: Recruit, Veteran Dawn, Concord Dawn Veteran. Just 1 pilot skill 1, pilot skill 3. I'll move these guys out of the way here.
Yeah.
I've got the Concord Dawn Ace right here. This one actually has. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. These 2 actually have elite pilot talents, which is nice. So you can add stuff like Fearless onto these 2 guys and really up that damage there.
What's interesting, I think, is you can actually see that 2 points of pilot skill costs 1 point.
It's true.
Right?
That
It
is
goes
true.
up, and then EPT costs 1 point. If you're looking at the comparison.
Roughly.
Yeah.
I don't know how
on this ship. On
yes,
this ship,
yes,
at least, it's kind of funny.
That is
'Cause
kind of-
there's not a big point difference.
No, there's really not. I mean, that's the difference between taking the title and not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
though I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I like the pilot skill 1 or pilot skill 3 guys. At least they're too late. I mean, this ship being if you want to be face to face with someone, shooting last is not something I want to do. Right?
That is very true. Yeah, you want to go high pilot skill on this bad boy.
That's what I feel like.
I mean, this would be good. This ship would be good against U-boats.
Sure.
Because the pilot skill 3, you're shooting. I think those guys are only 2s.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
you're shooting
there are ways to make them useful, but for me, I think that's kind of
I would start with this ship.
Yeah.
Is where Abe's going with that. I think I'm on the same page as him in regard to that. So, moving on, we got the pilot skill 6 got CAD Souls. After you execute a red maneuver, assign 2 focus to your ship. So this is interesting, I think, because it helps out with that action economy. You've had those turns where you had to execute the K turn, or you had to do something, you had to get that red maneuver going. I mean, realistically, the ship only has 4 red maneuvers.
Yeah.
It's got 4 all ahead. It's got the 3 hard turns, and then the 4 K turn. But if you've ever had that turn where you had to K turn to get in a firing arc, having 2 focus is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So very cool, and he's got the EPT, so you can do some dirty tricks with that too. So very cool ship. Old Terroch?
Yeah.
Turok? Something. Old Terry is what they call him online.
Old Terry.
Old Terror. Yeah, Old Terror. So what he's got here, pilot skill 7, at the start of your combat phase, choose 1 enemy ship at range 1. If you are inside its arc, it discards all focus and evade tokens. That is saucy.
Yeah.
If they have an evade, if you fight another arc dodger and you happen to land, again,
face to face.
Yeah, nose to nose, face to face, whatever. You can even bump.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't say, if I'm in your arc, we're bumping. Yeah, I can't shoot you.
Yeah.
But man, he becomes a really mean blocker because he gets in your face. You can't shoot him because you bumped, and now you've lost all of your focus and evade tokens.
All your focus and evade tokens. It can be nice to mess with someone who's trying to bank a bunch of focus tokens through some kind of crazy for some kind of shenanigans, or if they're trying to use the focus tokens to launch a torpedo or a missile or something. Suddenly like, haha, no, you don't get to do that.
Yeah, U-boats, beware, because this thing will get in your face and say you no longer have. Like if they're trying to shoot, use crack shot into the target lock.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're like, oh, that's cool. Well, not crack shot. The other one that Deadeye.
That's it.
So very, very cool thing.
He's cool.
Counter meta kind of.
Yeah, he's not going to be necessarily useful every turn kind of thing, but could be pretty clinch when you.
But if you've got that super squirrely ship, you're fighting another arc dodger ship. If you can get in there, whoo, that's the turn to strike.
Yeah, and he doesn't pay very much for that ability.
No,
he's only 3 points more than the basic Concord Dawn on the Concord Dawn Ace. And he does get pilot skill 7.
Yeah,
for those 3 points also. So again, I like that.
You still have access to the EPT. You still have access to Torpedo.
I like being able to shoot first with these guys. And that's just a nice little bonus.
I think advanced Proton Torpedoes.
Advanced Proton Torpedoes. Hey, you don't want
guidance chips on these guys.
You know what? I don't want you to have that evade or anything.
Yeah.
I need to kill you this turn. I'm at range 1. I'm shooting first.
Bad times.
Bam.
Fen Rao, speaking of shooting first.
He's the guy.
When attacking or defending, if the enemy ship is at range 1, you may roll 1 additional die. Notice that's attacking or defending.
Yep.
So, yeah, and that doesn't matter. Primary weapon, secondary weapon.
Arcs don't matter.
Arcs don't matter.
Yeah.
If you're at range 1, attacking or defending. So if they're behind you somehow at range 1, you may roll 1 additional die. So straight up, bonus die, take that, and he will blow you up with it.
He'll do it with anything. You can kind of see on this picture, actually, if you look closely at what I was talking about the wings. You can see how they're rotating around the ship.
Rotating up,
Yeah, around the cockpit.
It's very cool, very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, he's the best card in this by far, I think. He's
for 28 points, he better.
Yeah, they're still fairly affordable for how good for pilot skill 9 with an
my only drawback is that he's only got 4 hull.
Yeah.
But he's gonna get his shot in that first turn. Yeah. Like that turn that you need him to survive and shoot. I mean, he may not make it out, but he's going to make it in there, and he's going to do some serious damage.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, Proton Torpedoes, advanced Proton Torpedoes with guidance chips on this guy.
I mean, you want to use him to arc dodge everyone but one person. And you get range 1 of just one enemy, go before them, blow them up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's that ship. Last but not least, we do have the Special Forces tie. So we're going to cut real quick and open up the new 2-seater. All right, I've got it opened up. Stable Abe's taking out the cards and everything as I do this, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the ship. Put that to the side. Actually, before you, there's the dial. So it goes up to speed 4. So it's not as fast as some of the other ties, but you know what?
Squirrely.
Yeah, it's got 2 Sanganors loops. It's got plenty of tricks up this dial sleeve to get away from your enemies or get into firing arc range and do some damage. Moving on. Here's the ship itself. Looks cool. It looks like a standard tie, but
Slight
better.
differences. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the red stripe. It's got the weapon systems in the rear as well. We'll see why.
360 turret.
Well, see, that's the funny thing about a tie, because if it was a true 360 turret, it would shoot itself in the solar panel.
But fluff-wise, it is. It rotates a full 360, and it's supposed to be for 360 turret, but it can't fire 360.
It can't fire it wouldn't. I mean, if you were below it, I don't even know.
I don't think it can aim down.
I don't think it can. But it's still cool.
Space is two-dimensional in Star Wars.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah. And then all the other stuff too. So set that to the side. Abe, what's the first thing we're going to look at here?
We've got your cardboard.
Yep, we've got the tokens we're going to punch out, and this one goes up to 58, 57.
Yep.
Focus and all that. There's the dial which we just looked at, so pretty cool. We've got the
more cardboard.
All right, so we've got some extra tokens there. This ship actually does have shields. We've got quick draw and backdraft, and then on the flip side, we've got the Zeta Specialist and the Omega Specialist, and then all the tokens and stuff. First up, we've got a couple of the small cards, and
not getting a lot. We're not getting a lot of upgrade cards with this wave.
Not a ton of upgrades, but some of them are very key
some
upgrades.
Of them, yeah.
I would say they might not be a ton of upgrades, but they are very important upgrades. So, special ops training. This one's going to be really important for quick draw. When attacking with your primary weapon from your primary firing arc, you may roll 1 additional attack die. You saw that earlier, it's good.
Yep.
If you do not, meaning you don't roll that extra attack die, you may perform an additional attack from your auxiliary arc, shooting out the rear. Pretty cool. Sensor cluster, you get 2 of these. This is a new one. When defending, you may spend a focus token to change one of your blank results to an evade result.
It's not bad. I think only this ship and the TIFO can take that upgrade so far.
Well, it's a tech slot.
Yeah, so they're the only ones who have it right now.
Right. We'll probably see more ships use that later on.
Probably.
But it's something to think about.
Yeah.
So, just interesting. It's just different.
Yeah, it's a nice little upgrade.
We've got the collusion detector. When performing a boost, barrel, roll, or decloak, your ship and maneuver template can overlap obstacles. The dash Rendar.
Yeah.
When rolling for obstacle damage, ignore all crit results. So that pretty much ignores, I think it's debris.
That might be, yeah.
One of the obstacles
yeah.
is only if triggers on a crit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free upgrade, so you're not going to put anything else in that slot.
It's the sensor slot. Yeah, if you're not going to use it, this is a good one. That works for a lot of other ships too, like the TIE Advanced, I think.
Yeah, the E-Wing or some other stuff.
There's a couple of guys.
Yeah.
So it could be useful. And then, of course, Wired, which we saw earlier in one of the previous waves. When attacking or defending, if you're stressed, you can reroll 1 or more of your focus results. So if you're stressed out, you're more focused somehow. Yeah. So very cool. So what do we got as far as pilots, Abe?
Oh, we've also got the auxiliary fire.
Oh yeah, this is the same card we saw earlier in the video. Yeah. Same deal there.
So only 4 pilots with this one.
Only 4, but 2 of them are so good.
Yeah.
Very, very important stuff here. So we've got the Zeta Specialist, which is the 3. Again, sensor slot, missile slot, tech slot. This ship, of course, 2 primary, and it has the firing arc as well, so fires front and back. 2 agility, so it's a little more sluggish than the regular ties, but still pretty squirrely.
That's twice as tough.
Yeah, twice as tough. It's got 3 hull and 3 shields. So
it's a forgiving ship. I don't know. I feel like it's set up to be sort of a swarm ship, but I don't know if I take it as a swarm. But
yeah, I feel like it's more of a maybe like an X-wing style ship where you if you're new to the game. I think this is the opposite of the
of the Protector.
Of the Protector. This is a newbie friendly ship.
It's a pretty newbie friendly ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you if you're new to the game, you want to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
I think this is a great ship
to
start with.
Options.
You got some speed, not the fastest ship, but you have some cool maneuvers. You've got hull, you've got shields. You've got some barrel roll options, so it's good.
I mean, in some ways, it is sort of like an Imperial X-wing. It's a little less killy than an X-wing, but it's got
some access to stuff that X-wing doesn't have.
Well, it's got it gets a missile slot. It gets a sensor slots.
Barrel roll, too.
Barrel slot. So, it's got a few upgrades. You can play around. This is a good beginner ship.
Yeah, for sure. Omega Specialist is going to be more of the same, but it's going to be pilot skill 5.
And have an EPT.
And have an EPT. That's the key things there for 2 points.
So again, we can see EPT is 1 point. 2 pilot skill is 1 point.
There you go. So Abe's got a theory.
My theory
it's holding true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go do the math on all those, but it's holding out there. And again, good solid ship for newbies. And it's flying at speed 5 or pilot skill 5. So you're gonna have, you could take like veteran instincts and bump it up to 7. You could take adaptability and drop it if you want to. So very, very versatile ship. Backdraft is our first a unique pilot here. Pilot skill 7. When attacking a ship inside your aux arc, you may add 1 crit to the result.
It's a good card.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
Cool thing about that is, if you're range 1, and I checked this earlier, the aux arc still counts as your primary weapon.
Right.
So if you're range 1, you get the extra damage because it's a primary weapon shot, even though it's out of the aux arc. You're rolling 3 dice, you get to add a crit result. Yep. So he's the one ship that if you're behind him, you're going to get hit harder than if you're in front of him.
Yeah.
So.
And if he's got the special forces training, he can show
Bingo.
in front, not use that extra, and put that extra dice in the back. He basically can choose where he wants to put that dice and get a second attack if he puts it on the back.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And you're going to take the title.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So.
Yeah.
Lots of abilities, good synergy with himself.
I think slapping a boost on him or push the limit or something on there, just to get that extra maneuverability out of him. Because you're going to be, this is one of the ships you're going to want to be barrel rolling and moving around to try to line up the 2 shots.
Absolutely.
So,
but I mean, the good thing about these ships is they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
I mean, two agility is not the best, but it's not horrible.
Correct.
And having 3 hull and 3 shield with 2 agility means that they're going to survive a bit of shooting.
Yeah, it's going to take more than just your standard, U-boat one shot to take you out. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Quick draw. This guy's dirty. I wrote about him a while ago when you first saw the previews of him. His ability, once per round, when you lose a shield token, you may perform a primary weapon attack. So, again, we talked about this. Doing the math on this guy, he can be straight up ridiculous. I think he can generate 8 shots, or 8 dice worth of shots.
4 shots total or something? Or?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me move to the side and we'll kind of do the math real quick with special ops training. So once per round, and again, this is on when you get shot, and it's only once per round. So on your turn,
lose a shield.
Yeah, exactly. When you lose a shield, and you only have 3 shields, so you can only lose three per turn unless you find a way to get a shield back. Which, yeah.
Right, but it's once per round.
Once per round.
You can only lose 3 times if you only lost 1 shield.
Correct.
Every time you were shot, and you only got shot once per round.
Right.
So it's not going to happen a lot.
No.
It's going to happen probably.
But if you can line this up,
yeah.
This is how this would go if you could line this up somehow and had 2 guys to shoot at, and you were in the middle of both. On your turn, you'd fire. You would trigger this. When firing your primary weapon, you may fire an additional die or fire at the back. Mm-hmm. So you opt to fire at the back. So now you're firing 2 dice to the front, 2 dice to the back. You get shot. You'd fire 2 more dice to the front, 2 more dice to the back.
Right.
And that would trigger once per round whenever you lost the shield. It's pretty good.
Right.
If any of those shots happen to be range 1, bump all those attacks up by 1 as well.
Expose, bump all of those attacks up by 1.
Again, expose is one of the. This is one of the few pilots I think expose actually works really, really well on.
Yeah.
Everybody hates that card, but making him get hit easier means he's losing more shields or losing a shield.
Yeah,
which can trigger.
Putting out so he can put out 16 dice in 1 turn if he gets.
Yeah,
if everything's pretty set
theoretically,
up.
Yeah.
Did they ever have they clarified if he's destroyed in a single hit, does he still get to make that attack?
I don't remember if the attack happens at 9, then yeah, because
it's simultaneous.
Simultaneous shooting. So
if it happened at 10, would he get to do it?
I don't.
Or if he had already attacked. Well, if he already attacked.
Well, if it would destroy him, he wouldn't have any shields left. Well,
no, not necessarily. If it took him all the way down, right? If he had 1 shield left at 3 hull, and 1 hit did 4 damage to him, and he'd already attacked. This takes place at 5, right? He's already gone.
Sure.
He's destroyed. How does the order of
There is a very handy sheet that we would have to reference to check it out. I'm sure some of you in the comments will argue back and forth on that one, but I know they have an order of operations, and I don't
that's
remember.
important. That's important.
That's a very good point. I would think that if you didn't have any shields left anyway, it wouldn't matter too much. But
he could have a shield.
But he could have a shield. He could take 4 points of damage.
That's
true. That's true.
Very good point. It matters you're fighting him. Like, do I need to make sure I kill him right now?
You know, it's interesting too because you have to lose the shield token for that attack to trigger.
Sure.
So you have to have taken the damage.
Right.
So that's where the order of
That's where the
operation comes in,
operation
because
comes.
you actually have to have been hit and taken damage, and that has to resolve.
I guess the key is, do you not remove the model until the end of that initiative step?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Look that up.
You'll have to look it up. But that's pretty much all we're gonna go over today. Come back next time and we'll take a look at the Shadowcaster just to tease you guys a little bit more. But we've spent a lot of time on wave. What is this? Wave 10, 20, 30 at this point? Wave 9.
Wave 9.
So that was all the big ships, the fighters from Wave 9. So I'm AdamHarry from BoLS.
And I'm Stable Abe.
Thanks again for watching. Have a good one.